How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with a FPL video. It's going to be the first kind of official video, not necessarily a stream, of the season. We're going to be doing this in the weeks leading up to the beginning of the 2021-2022 FPL season. It's called Team Watch, where basically we take a look at a team, see what transfers are going in and out of the team, what FPL assets I'm interested in, and what I'm not so interested in unless something changes. And we're going to do things alphabetically, and we're going to start off with Arsenal. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button for a new series, new graphics, all that good stuff. Hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a lot of content coming before the FPL season starts and throughout the entire FPL season, so you can keep locked and loaded. And turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter. If there's any FPL news or anything like that, I will retweet it or put my thoughts over there, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch, because that's where we'll be doing our FPL streams for the season. Without further ado, let's get into the video. We've partnered up with Fantasy Football Scout for this coming Fantasy Premier League season, and they're giving you an exclusive offer. Use the link down in the description to get 20% off your Fantasy Football Scout membership. It gives you access to the exclusive members area, which has new tools such as the 3-player comparison tool, as well as some old favorites such as the Rate My Team tool, the Season Ticker, and my personal favorite, the fully customizable stats tables, which you can share among other Fantasy Football Scout members, powered by Opta Stats. Use the link down in the description below to get 20% off your membership today. Sign up now. So let's take a look at the 3 players that I'm most interested from Arsenal. If we just take a look at their fixtures to start with, a very mixed bag. They have newly promoted Brentford away, Norwich at home in game weeks 1 and 4, sandwiched around Chelsea and Man City at home and away respectively, and then they have a very good run up until around game week 11 or so, where it's just a sea of green. So I'm a bit tentative for Arsenal players, but if there were 3 players that I was looking at, it'd be Emil Smith-Rowe, who's currently priced at 5.5 million in the new season, Saka 6.5 million, and Pepe at 7.5 million. All of them are midfielders, as you can see on the graphic. Those are their stats for their last 4 games that they played in the 2020-2021 season, and the most involved seem to be Pepe and Smith-Rowe from what I saw. I think Pepe is really, he's taken some time to get into his role at Arsenal, in whether it be on the left side or on the right hand side in like their 4-2-3-1 system or 3-4-3 system that Arteta typically deploys, and I think he's going to be a very good price at 7.5 million if he gets regular starts. That's my only concern with the likes of Pepe, is that there were times where Arteta kind of just didn't favor him. It was a bit kind of weird on that front. If we look across the whole season, 65 big chances, 47.49 non-penalty XG, around about mid-table, which is ultimately where Arsenal ended up finishing. But I think if they, get a couple signings in, maybe a fullback, left back, or right back, another creative central midfielder, then they could start to see some progress and make their way back into those European places. But I think if I'm, the most interesting one to me is Bukayo Saka because of how he's performed in the Euros. 6.5 million could be a bargain. He could be somebody that you just rotate with your 4th defender at 6.5 million. So you play him in game week 1, you have a defender that's good in 2 and 3, and then you play Saka from game week 4 onwards because he has fantastic fixtures. Smith-Rowe, with the likes of Odegaard leaving Arsenal and going back after his loan, Smith-Rowe could be the main man in terms of their creative number 10 role. We'll have to see what the transfers bring along. But I'm very excited for these 3 players, all bright young players, and could provide Arsenal a bit of rejuvenation in the squad and allow them to get back into the top 6 and ultimately the top 4 where they're looking to go. So with that being said, now let's take a look at the 3 players that I think something needs to either change or I'm just not really interested in those players. Now these are the 3 players that, unless something changes or, they show me something a little bit more, not going to be really interested in them. Now a lot of people have been jumping on Rob Holding as a 4.5 million defender. He looks fantastic at the price. But Arsenal are linked to Ben White from Brighton. The deal hasn't been finalized yet, but they are pushing for it. And will that push Rob Holding out of his spot? Ben White is currently 4.5 million, and we'll talk about more in the next segment. But Holding is just going to be there for bonus points and clean sheets. If Arsenal, start being stingy at the back, they had 12 clean sheets last season. If they slightly improve on that, they could be very good value if the defenders are 4.5 million. As a rotational fourth, maybe fifth defender once we get a little bit more funds in our team. I just don't think from the start defense is going to be where Arsenal are going to be going for. 2 clean sheets in a possible first 4 could be quite good. But I'll wait to see that. See what they do versus Brentford, see how they fare versus Chelsea and Man City, and then potentially go on that. And Tierney kind of falls in that category as well. Only 2 chances created in the last 4 matches that they played. Only 0.18 on the XGI. Just not really involved. 5 million could be a fantastic price, but my biggest concern about Tierney is fitness. And if he's going to be fit through game week 4 to game week 11, that's a fantastic time to have him. He's going to be very good at creating chances. He links up well on that left-hand side, which the likes of Aubameyang was doing so well coming off of, as he drifts off to the side favorably. Arsenal tend to favor that side as well, which is why Pepe had a stint over there on that left-hand side as well and was doing quite well. And I think that Tierney at that price could be very good. Just fitness is what concerns me. And 2 of the opening 4 fixtures look great, but again, what's Arsenal's shape going to come in like? They're linked to a couple of players, which we'll talk about in the next segment. Aubameyang, everything went through him. 2.53 XGI. He had 3 big chances, 5 chances created, 7 shots in the box, which I believe was most for all Arsenal players in the last 4 matches. Everything goes through him. There's only one caveat though. He's 10 million now, so he's gone down in price. However, he is now a forward. He was a midfielder last season, so he gets 1 less point for his goals that he scores, and he gets no points for keeping a clean sheet. But he does get more bonus points when he does score and assist. So we'll have to see if this price is right. With the forwards, there seems to be a big disparity from Kane, who's 12.5 million, to Calvert-Lewin, who's around 8 million. So he's kind of the middle ground in that he's kind of like the beginning of the premium forwards. Am I going to go there in the first couple of game weeks? I don't think so. The first 3 have Chelsea and Man City in there. That doesn't look great, personally. We'll have to see kind of how it pans out, what position he's going to be playing, what type of support they bring in, because if they can create chances for Aubameyang, we know he can score goals. He is a clinical goal scorer and can do quite well if he gets the service. However, if Arsenal go back to their kind of boring 3-4-3, pass it sideways, pass it backwards type of style, and Aubameyang doesn't get the space to operate in, specifically in and around the box and in that left half space, we might see Aubameyang's price plummet and not many FPL managers going for him. With that being said, now let's take a look at the potential ins and outs for Arsenal this coming summer transfer window. So here are the potential talking points for Arsenal in terms of summer transfers, ins and outs. As a note, all transfers that you see on this graphic are approximations and are subject to change until announced as official transfers. So the 3 ins that I want to talk about is Tavares from Benfica. That deal seems to be pretty much all but wrapped up. He's coming from Benfica. Obviously hasn't been announced as of yet officially, and it's approximately around the region of £7 million. Now he plays at a fullback position and has been very good for Benfica and could be a very astute signing. We also see that Arsenal are also interested in central midfielder from Anderlecht, Lokonga. He is someone who can play that deeper lying role or as like an 8 box-to-box midfielder. That fee is around £17 million. That's what Anderlecht want guaranteed. Arsenal have made a bid, £15 million plus £4 million in add-ons. And he could be someone who's, he's very young, 21, could come in alongside Thomas Partey if Granit Xhaka were to leave and kind of make that role his own and just let, a little bit of energy, a little bit of tenacity in there. Both Partey and Lokonga have very good defensive attributes and could provide a good stability in a 4-2-3-1 system for Arteta. And then Ben White is the big money move that Arsenal are looking for. Ben White, who's been called up to the England squad with Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously getting injured in the the pre-games leading up to the Euros, and he could be around the region of 50 million pounds, and that could be a very, very expensive deal for Arsenal. But at 4.5 million in FPL terms, he could be fantastic. because, you know, he's nailed on. Arsenal have then shored up their defense. Ben White comes in. If Arteta goes to a 3-4-3 system, that's something he's used to playing over at Brighton. If he comes in at a back two, there's still going to be some questions there. But I think Ben White is a very good young up-and-coming English defender and could be quite good for Arsenal. In terms of the outs, Granit Xhaka is probably the big one, a very leadership role. In FPL, not necessarily, you know, kind of valuable, but it could see Arsenal, you know, lose that ability to kind of hold out and be stingy and, you know, kind of control games when they're, you know, only ahead by 1 goal, and kind of defend well and, you know, keep the organization there. Because Granit Xhaka obviously was the captain previously, obviously had that removed after the incident where he kind of threw the armband or threw a shirt on the ground, and, you know, the fans were giving it to him after he played quite poorly. He could be on his way to Roma. Don't know the fee as of yet, but Jose Mourinho is very interested in him, and he could do quite well, I think, in Serie A. But losing that, you know, leadership figure in the dressing room could mean that Arsenal go for kind of a young, vibrant, inexperienced team and kind of develop from there over a longer-term plan, which may be what Arteta's going for when he brought in the likes of Smith Rowe. Odegaard was obviously a very young loan signing. Saka is obviously very young as well. And that could be what they're kind of going for overall. But we'll be interested to see how Xhaka, you know, what his miss could be for Arsenal in terms of the, you know, the kind of the leadership and the kind of the, you know, keeping headstrong, and when games are close, what's going to happen? Is Arsenal going to capitulate, or are they going to stay strong, and the youth and energy in the team is going to hold them out? Ceballos is also somebody who's going to be going back to Real Madrid. His loan has expired, and there's no chance, according to reports, this was back in May of this year, that he's just going to be going back at the end of his loan, which he's done so already. And then lastly, Willian is someone who, you know, hasn't had the greatest of time at Arsenal. Had a very good game week 1 last season, but ultimately, you know, a lot of managers jumped on him originally after he got a few assists and was looking good, but then really didn't do anything for the whole season. So not really going to be missed in terms of FPL. He's interested, in going to potentially the MLS, as Inter Miami have interest in him. No official bids as of yet. This was as of May in 2021, so we'll see kind of how that pans out. But it makes the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe and Pepe more viable as FPL options, as we mentioned in our previous screen. And that's it for the transfer ins and outs. And that is going to do it for our preseason team watch for Arsenal. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, or you're new to the channel or new to FPL. There's going to be a lot of content coming this preseason, as well as throughout the entire 2021-2022 Fantasy Premier League season. Also, make sure to turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And if you want to get more content, drop us a follow over on Twitter and join our FPL League. It'll be in the Twitter bio over there as well. And give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams throughout the FPL season, or anytime we want to go live for any form of FPL news. And make sure you take advantage of that Fantasy Football Scout offer that we played at the beginning of the video. It's so good. It's throughout the whole season, 20% off the membership. It's fantastic. So make sure to check that out. The link is in the description below for that as well. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.